What's up, dudes? Max here with some impressions and an overall review to something I'm sure a few of you are curious about. Some of you guys might not realize, but my entire kind of video making career began with Call of Duty videos for the most part, and some Street Fighter 4 stuff. But Call of Duty and all those titles are something that I've kind of kept up with a long time, be at the same time. But over the last two games, I've been very discouraged. Black Ops 2 was a great game that was kind of riddled and essentially destroyed by really bad netcode. And Call of Duty Ghosts was not fun in any way at all for me, so I just didn't really play it. I did a quick review of Ghosts the last time, and gave it a fairly negative review. I got to the first Prestige, and I was like, I'm done, not going to play this anymore. And I've done the same for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and I want to talk a bit about it, because this is probably the biggest departure that Call of Duty multiplayer has had, kind of since the initial Call of Duty 4. So one of the things that I love about the Call of Duty series that you guys might not realize is just the amount of people that you can kill. Back in the older titles like Call of Duty 4, there wasn't a lot of crazy kill streaks, and I was just obsessed with getting as many kills as I possibly could, playing a lot of ground war so there'd be more opponents, and I really love the fact that you can get 50 to 100 kills per game. That really excites me, and just killing a lot of dudes in a multiplayer match is one of the things one of the reasons I actually play these games. Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, I felt the exact same way, became even easier because kill streaks got really crazy. And the biggest issue with kill streaks is that not everyone gets access to that stuff. You got to be kind of good at the games to get access to the higher things, but I absolutely love it. I liked powerful kill streaks because there was always a way to take them out of the sky. And especially in a game like Black Ops 2, you were heavily rewarded with your own kill streaks for taking out kill streaks of enemies through the point system. And this is the first huge gripe I have with Advanced Warfare, and it's that the kill streaks are extremely expensive and fairly ineffective. Some of them are okay. The UAV works pretty well. You can use it like a support streak along with the supply drop. You can use it like support, like Modern Warfare 3, where you don't have to die to get them, and I recommend doing that. There's no reason you shouldn't be running support on something like a UAV, meaning you don't have to get the kills in a row. You can still die and get UAVs. There are some pretty powerful things support-wise like that I'm probably going to think is going to be patched. But my biggest issue is that the kill streaks that are used to kind of control the game are nerfed heavily or don't even exist anymore. Sure, you probably say there's things you can do to modify the kill streaks to make them better, but these kill streaks, you have to actually remain on the kill streak. You can't die. And it sometimes takes upwards of 10 to 13 to 14 kills to make a kill streak actually good. Maybe get you more than 10 kills in that one streak itself. Because on average, you get this score streak that costs, like, you know, the Warbird, the chopper gunner of the game, and it might get you 3, maybe 4 kills. Maybe. It is heavily nerfed from what they used to be, and kind of even more so than I feel than something like Call of Duty Ghosts, which is another reason why I really didn't like that game. I didn't find it a lot of fun. I do find the kill streaks to be some of the most fun things of Call of Duty games, and that's why I kind of got into the series back in 2007, 2008, was because of that. I found score streaks to be, or kill streaks to be, a ton of fun, and they changed the way you play the game. You can do different things in them, and my biggest issue is that in this game, they are heavily nerfed, so much to the point that things like Hardline take you nearly to level 50 to even acquire. So they're like, we hate score streaks, we're gonna make them really bad, and if you want to be really good with them, you gotta kill a ton of people. That just isn't worth it. Honestly, it's worth it just to run lower things, if not a care package with a support streak on, and the initial UAV, because it's not worth it when those really high ones only get you maybe 5-6 kills. So that's fairly disappointing from a person that really likes killing a lot of dudes. You're not going to be killing a lot of dudes in this game because everyone has the new EXO abilities, and everyone is flying around absolutely everywhere. EXO abilities are great. There is an amazing honeymoon period of this game. For the first 30 games you play, it's going to feel amazing, like the greatest Call of Duty you ever played. And then my biggest gripe came with it is afterwards, when I started realizing that what the EXO does to the game is pretty much make it not Call of Duty. It kind of breaks it down to the point where there is like lanes and paths in the classic Call of Duty map formula where you control where the enemy's going. Especially in regular game types like Domination and TDM, and it becomes very difficult in this game because you are never safe. There is never a moment of non-exhaustion in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare because everyone is anywhere and always in your ass. And that's because the exo abilities give you the ability to do that, to double jump, to dash, to go everywhere, so you are constantly in the ringer, it feels like. Some people will like that, but at the same time, I started doing a lot better when I started playing a little bit more defensively in this game, and started getting my kill-death ratio a little bit higher. My win ratio started getting a bit better. Well, not because at any point you are sitting in a position and you can get flanked from anywhere because that giant wall that's next to you, well, it doesn't mean anything because people can just jump right over it. And it's difficult aiming up and down on controller, so you will not be killing as many people as you usually do in comparison to the other Call of Duty games. Sans the score streaks, of course, you're not going to be getting more kills because of that.